Good afternoon. Today is the 2nd of January and it's time for the January 2022 channel update. It's been an interesting couple of weeks actually. I just want to say thank you very much for all of you who have been watching the channel over the last few weeks especially, but all throughout 2021. The channel started on under 3,000 subscribers and now we're pushing 5,000. We're almost there. We have a special video for that which was filmed last year, but there has been some growth. It's not perhaps been the fastest growth compared with some channels I know, but that's absolutely fine. We continue to have steady growth and we have some incredibly loyal viewers, and I'm very, very grateful for that actually. One of the things that's actually happened over the last couple of weeks that you might have seen already is something I've been talking about for a really, really long time, and that's channel memberships. I did promise we would get round to them at some point, and in fact we have. We got back round to them much later on, unfortunately, than I thought we would, and part of that was due to you know, coronavirus and other things, having had it myself and all that sort of stuff. But we are actually there now, and there is a join button below the video if you wish to become a channel member. There are 3 tiers of channel membership. One of them is the basic level, that's a Fiesta Mark 7 level, and that gives you early video access to a lot of things. There's a couple of videos actually, I think about 3, that are exclusively for channel members at the moment, but they will be published obviously a bit later. First one of those that was for channel members will be going live tomorrow. And then the other one later in the week, and then the third one the week after. On the second tier up, which is the Set Toledo level, which is a little bit more. The first one's $1.99 a month. The second one I think is about $4.99 a month. Then you actually get to have early access to the very vague vlogs. These are things which actually started during the lockdown in 2020, the very first lockdown that we had. I've done about 24 of them, and I've just recorded number 25, and those are live for second tier up channel members already, and we're set Toledo level upwards, and they just have sort of weekly record of what's going on. Some people find that kind of thing interesting. I know Ian Seabrook on our channel has been doing that kind of thing for quite a while actually. We don't want to start a second channel at the moment like he's done. I mean, he's a much bigger sort of audience than I do, so that makes sense for him, but they are just there. I mean, you know, eventually they will be released. I think we're looking at doing that probably the week after next, so there'll be about a 3-week gap between them going live on my channel for channel members and then everyone else. I don't believe in having channel content behind you know, an infinite paywall. Obviously early access I do think is a nice thing for people to have if they want to contribute to the channel, but you know, if you can't afford it, you don't want to do it, you know, I can understand, you know, some people just not interested in doing something like that. Then it will be eventually released, whether it's your sort of thing or not. It's fine, you don't have to watch them, but they're there in case people are interested in them. The other thing I've noticed is that since we had Christmas, the channel numbers have really increased. It was actually quite surprising just how much they have increased, and one video in particular that was the Sensible Secondhand Classics review of the Sierra Sapphire has done really quite well in comparison with everything else, and I'm really very thankful for that. Everybody who's watched and commented on that video, even the 2 slightly shambolic shuffles that were filmed actually both this week. It feels like a lot longer than that, but it is only just 1 week that we've had, and you know, they've both been filmed this week. They're quite small events, both of them, and they've been very successful. I'm very grateful for that, and I intend to film as many of those as possible because I know that you know, a lot of you really like them. We also will be trying to return to do more Sensible Secondhand Classics at Great British Car Journey if I'm allowed to go and film more of a collection. I'm still just trying to sort that out. I know a lot of you very much enjoyed the Astra Mark 1 as well as the Sierra, and you know, we'll be trying to do more next time I can get up there, if when that happens. We'll also be having some more no budget reviews. There are actually 3 of those that are all filmed and ready to go, and we'll have some sensible second-hand reviews as well, just some general ones of sort of the typical second-hand cars that I source for clients, or rather recommend you don't buy, but are in the sort of price range between £1,000 and £5,000, which is a typical sort of price range that I source cars for, although actually that's increasing now that the second-hand car prices have actually gone up so considerably that actually the budgets are a lot further, but we don't want to adjust that. Well, I think it's a reasonable request for many people to have a car of that sort of price range. So we will continue to put those out, even if a lot of you just want to see classics, and that's fine. I like classics too, but there are people who are genuinely looking for a car within that price band, and they want to see a review that's useful to them in that way. And so I will continue to produce them because I like them. Tweed jacket reviews. Well, we saw the 260Z on the channel at Christmas Day. It's not perhaps won't have a number of views it might have done. I think part of that is because Christmas Day itself is a very busy day, and Boxing Day the numbers considerably increase on that day. Maybe it's on a car that a lot of you are very familiar with, and that's another reason sometimes why the numbers aren't as high as they would be. But we like making True Jacket reviews. We don't make very many of them because they cost the most of any type of channel content I make, but we will continue to make them in reasonably small numbers to just economise with the budget and make sure we're doing it effectively. But the 5,000 sub special that's already been filmed, that is also True Jacket reviews of a very, very rare car. It's even rarer than that 260Z, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's already there. And I really enjoyed making that video. So if you want to see what we can actually do on the channel if we put a bit of kind of actual proper expertise behind it in terms of filming and editing and the sort of cars we do, then by all means watch it. You don't have to. Some people really enjoy watching the episode on that K11 Micro, for example, or the P11 Primera. That's absolutely fine as well. Obviously that costs a lot less to make than everything else because no budget reviews. So if you like that, then that's absolutely fine as well. We try to give people what they want to some extent, and I'm pleased that whatever type of channel content that we put out, it seems that people want to watch it to some extent. And we will be also looking at the top 10 best-selling cars of not just December 2021. We'll be looking at the top 10 best-selling cars of that year as a whole. I might even do 2 separate videos on that because otherwise it will be too long. It will just be too long. It's basically the same kind of analysis, but it's just in 2 different bits. So we might do 2 different videos on that. We'll have to see. There are some people actually who just like now, but not even driving a car, people like just seeing my face talking about that particular topic, and I continue to make those as long as people watch them. It's not to everyone's taste, but that's absolutely fine. I quite enjoy looking at those, and I know there's a few people who really enjoy it too, and I don't know anybody else who actually does that at that level of detail, so we'll continue to do it. We'll also at some point probably revisit peculiar old car adverts. Now I don't know if I'll be able even to monetize that particular series, because I had some problems with that when we were making them during the 3rd lockdown at the beginning of 2021. But it's copyrighted material, and YouTube doesn't really like using too much of it, and so some of those were demonetized. So I do get a bit reluctant to sort of put too many of them out because, well, I just don't want to get in trouble and go to copyright school again, which is what I had to do one time last year because I actually got a strike. I haven't had any sense, and I've had that strike removed, but I just need to be a bit careful about that kind of thing. That's why you see me often like reach for mute buttons immediately when I'm in a car and the radio's on and things like that, because I do not want any more copyright strikes on the channel. But that's about it really. I'm also looking at at the moment for cars to just kind of start filling up the content for January and February, and the easiest way for you to get in touch is to send me an email, which is japl745@hotmail.com. You would have seen the card for that in the first 30 seconds of the video, so you know, you don't have to sort of try to jot it down exactly, because it's sometimes a bit complicated about address. But if you do want your car to be filmed, generally I sort of prefer to look for cars that can be done no budget reviews, sensible second-hand reviews, sensible second-hand classics, just simply because I know that I can film those relatively quickly or get to them quickly if somebody's relatively nearby. 3-decade reviews requires a lot more planning, and although the 260Z just came through somebody offering that to me, it did require a bit more planning to do that, and that's absolutely fine, but that's why we don't do too many of them. We just require a bit more planning. Anyway, that's quite enough for me, I think, for now. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching this January 2022 channel update. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. If you want to become a channel member, then you can press the join button, but please don't feel any obligation to do so. Thank you so much indeed once again.